Good morning. Now we are moving on to second unit, normal shock waves and oblique shock waves. First, we will see about normal shock waves. Normal shock waves are perpendicular shock waves which will be perpendicular to the upcoming flows. So the angle between upstream flow direction and wave is always 90°. That angle is termed as shock wave angle and denoted by beta. So that is always 90° for a normal shock wave. This normal shock wave normally occurs in CD nozzle, supersonic inlets, and flow over an aerofoil under certain conditions and some real time problems. Now let us analyze this normal shock wave. Let's say this upstream region as region 1 and downstream region as region 2. These streamlines will be a straight line because the beta is equal to 90°. So we know that the streamlines won't cross each other. So whatever the mass comes in, it has to go out. There won't be any mass transfer across this streamline. So this between this streamline, we can treat this streamline as a stream tube with constant area. Here our objective is we have to relate state point 1 and state point 2 flow properties. At state point 1, what are the properties we will have? Mach number. So here the flow is supersonic, so this will be more than 1. Then velocity v1, pressure p1, density ρ1, temperature T1, entropy S1, then stagnation pressure P01, stagnation enthalpy H01, stagnation temperature T01. Similarly, we will have all this property in downstream region. So our objective is we have to relate this upstream flow properties with the downstream flow properties. So obviously we will have certain assumptions. Now let us see about the assumptions. So usually we will have one assumption, that is the flow is a 1D flow, which means all the flow property will vary as a function of x alone. Then steady flow, this means all the flow properties will not vary as a function of time. Then inviscid flow, so viscosity effect of the fluid element is negligible. Then perfect gas, the gas in which intermolecular forces are negligible. Then this process, the flow process, is an adiabatic process, which means we are not going to add any heat or remove any heat from the system. Adiabatic process, so there won't be any heat addition or rejection from the system. So as per our objective, we need to relate region 1 and region 2. For that we need certain relations. So already we have so many relations. So first we will list out one by one those relations. First equation, continuity equation. So as per this continuity equation statement, mass flow rate is constant at each and every section. So here we are going to have a constant area stream tube. So area will be constant here. So we have to rewrite this equation for this case. So here area is constant. So for this case, the continuity equation can be written as ρ1 v1 is equal to ρ2 v2. Let's say this is equation number 1. Then we have momentum equation. So in differentiable form, it is dP is equal to minus rho v dv. In integral form, it is P1 plus ρ1 v1 square is equal to P2 plus ρ2 v2 square. Let's say this equation is number 2. Then we have energy equation. For an adiabatic flow process, energy equation can be written as H1 plus V1 square divided by 2 is equal to H2 plus V2 square divided by 2. So this is equal to constant. The same equation we can write it for a calorifically perfect gas. For a calorically perfect gas, the same equation can be replaced with the temperature terms. So instead of H1, we can replace it as CpT1 for calorically perfect gas, plus V1 square divided by 2 is equal to CpT2 plus V2 square divided by 2. This is equal to constant. Here we can replace this Cp in terms of specific gas constant R. So we already have the relation. So Cp is equal to gamma R divided by gamma minus 1 plus V1 square divided by 2 is equal to similarly gamma R T2 divided by gamma minus 1 plus V2 square divided by 2. From the relations of speed of sound, you can say A is equal to root of gamma RT. So A squared is equal to gamma RT. So here gamma RT1 means A1 square divided by gamma minus 1 plus V1 square divided by 2 is equal to A2 square divided by gamma minus 1 plus V2 square divided by 2. This is equal to constant. So this is the energy equation we are going to use. So let's say this is equation number 3. Then we have state equation. So we can apply that equation at each and every point. Then we have state equation of state. P is equal to rho RT. If it is applied to region 1, we will get P1 is equal to rho 1 RT1. For region 2, it is P2 is equal to rho 2 RT2. Let's say these equations are number 4. Then we have isentropic relations. Isentropic relations. This relation cannot be used to relate region 1 and region 2, but this equation we can apply within region 1 or within region 2. But we cannot relate region 1 and region 2 using this equation because the flow process is an adiabatic flow process. So we can apply this equation within the region 1 or region 2. So that is P2 by P1 is equal to rho 2 by rho 1 power gamma. This is equal to T2 by T1 power gamma by gamma minus 1. Then we have stagnation isentropic relation. It is P naught divided by P is equal to rho naught divided by rho power gamma is equal to T naught divided by T power gamma by gamma minus 1. This is also equal to 1 plus gamma minus 1 by 2 Pm square whole power gamma by gamma minus 1. Even though we have all these relations, without having a known property in the region 2, we cannot proceed further. So here, so many people tried to relate region 1 and region 2, but they could not achieve it. But one person related region 1 region 2 using two hypothetical parameters. As a first time, Prandtl related region 1 and region 2 with the two hypothetical parameter, critical speed of sound and characteristic Mach number m star. Characteristic Mach number. He defined critical speed of sound as speed of sound when the gas is hypothetically isentropically brought to hypothetically isentropically brought to Mach number 1. So he defined the critical speed of sound as the speed of sound when the gas is hypothetically isentropically brought to Mach number 1. So with this critical speed of sound parameter, he defined characteristic Mach number as speed of the flow divided by A star, critical speed of sound. First, he represented this characteristic Mach number as a function of its Mach number, a fluid element Mach number. For that, he took energy equation. So he used the energy equation to represent a fluid element's characteristic Mach number as a function of its Mach number. From energy equation, he applied that energy equation, this equation number 3, to a fluid element. So and finally he got A square divided by gamma minus 1 plus V square divided by 2 is equal to, at this hypothetical point, this will be A star square divided by gamma minus 1 plus, so instead of V2, we will, where the Mach number will be equal to 1, so A star will be equal to that V2. So V can be replaced by A star again here, A star square divided by 2. So this is equal to, so in this terms A star is common, so we can take it outside. So if we do that, we will have remaining terms gamma minus 1 plus 1 by 2. Now let us take LCM. So A star squared into 2 plus gamma minus 1 divided by 2 into gamma minus 1. So this yields A star squared into gamma plus 1 divided by 2 gamma minus 1. So this is equal to constant. So if a fluid element is brought to Mach number 1 hypothetically and isentropically, so it will be in the form of A star squared into gamma plus 1 divided by 2 gamma minus 1. So this will be constant each and every point. So this is valid only within the region 1. Similarly, we can get it for region 2 also. Now, to get the Mach number terms, he divided this equation by velocity. So he divided this equation by velocity. So A square, let's say divided by V square. So this equation will become A square divided by V square divided by gamma minus 1 plus 1 by 2 is equal to, so here A star square divided by V star square, sorry V square divided by 2 into gamma minus 1 into gamma plus 1. So now we can replace this term by Mach number term, that is m square. So this is the speed of that fluid element divided by gamma minus 1 plus 1 by 2 is equal to, so from this definition, this is the reciprocal of m star square, so into gamma plus 1 divided by 2 into gamma minus 1. So here I made a mistake. This is actually 1 by m square. Now we can represent this m star as a function of m. So for a particular fluid element, we can calculate the characteristic Mach number if we know the Mach number of that fluid element. So now we simplify this equation and represent m star as a function of m. So let us take LCM here. So 2 into divided by gamma minus 1 m square plus gamma minus 1 divided by 2 gamma minus 1 into m squared is equal to gamma plus 1 divided by 2 into gamma minus 1 into m star square. Now we can say that 2 plus m square gamma minus 1 divided by 2 gamma minus 1 m square is equal to gamma plus 1 divided by 2 gamma minus 1 m star square. So we can cancel these two terms. So m star square will be equal to gamma plus 1 into m square divided by 2 plus m square gamma minus 1. So here we have represented the characteristic Mach number of a fluid element as a function of its Mach number. So if we want to calculate characteristic Mach number at region 1, we should simply substitute m1 here. For region 2, similarly m2 here. So this is called characteristic Mach number. So far he had only characteristic Mach number relation as a function of its Mach number. Then he divided momentum equation by continuity equation. Here the momentum equation number is 2 divided by continuity equation is number 1. So he divided momentum equation by continuity equation. This yields P1 plus rho 1 V1 square divided by rho 1 V1 is equal to P2 plus rho 2 V2 square divided by rho 2 V2. See, if we split this equation, split this term, we will get P1 by rho 1 V1 plus V1 squared is equal to P2 by rho 2 V2 plus V2 square. So P1 divided by rho 1 V1 minus P2 divided by rho 2 V2 is equal to V2 square minus V1 square. Sorry, here square will not come. Now from the speed of sound relation, we know A is equal to root of gamma P by rho. So A squared is equal to gamma P by rho. So P by rho will be equal to A squared by gamma. So now we are going to replace P by rho by A squared by gamma. So if we do that, we will get here A1 squared divided by gamma V1 minus A2 squared divided by gamma V2 is equal to V2 minus V1. Let's say this is equation number 6. So from this relation, we can represent A1 as a function of A star, similarly A2 as a function of A star. If we substitute these values after getting those A1 and A2 as a function of A star, we can relate A star as a function of V1 and V2. So automatically we have related V1 and V2, the properties of region 1 and region 2 using hypothetical parameter A star. So from this equation A1 square divided by gamma minus 1 is equal to plus V1 square divided by 2 is equal to A star square gamma plus 1 divided by 2 into gamma minus 1. This is also equal to a2 square divided by gamma minus 1 plus v2 square divided by 2. So from this relation, you can represent a1 squared as gamma plus 1 divided by 2 a star square minus v1 square divided by 2 gamma minus 1. Similarly, a2 square as gamma plus 1 divided by 2 a star square minus v2 square divided by 2 into gamma minus 1. Let's say this is equation number 7 and this is equation number 8. Now substitute this equation number 7 and 8 in equation number 6. Substitute equation number 7 and equation number 8 in equation 6. So we will get gamma plus 1 divided by 2 to a star square divided by gamma v1 minus gamma minus 1 divided by 2 gamma v1 minus gamma plus 1 divided by 2 a star square divided by v2 plus gamma minus 1 divided by 2 gamma v2. So this is equal to v2 minus v1. Now from these two terms we can take the common terms, that is gamma plus 1 divided by 2 into a star square. So here gamma should come, a star square divided by gamma. So if we take, we will get 1 by v1 minus 1 by v2. Then from these two terms we can take gamma minus 1 by 2 gamma outside. So we will get v2 minus v1 is equal to v2 minus v1. Now here we can take the LCM. So gamma plus 1 divided by 2 into a star square divided by gamma into v2 minus v1 divided by v1 v2 is v2 plus gamma minus 1 by 2 gamma into v2 minus v1 is equal to v2 minus v1. See, if you look at this equation, v2 minus v1 is common on both the sides, so we can cancel this term. So the remaining term will be gamma plus 1 divided by 2 a star square divided by gamma v1 v2 plus gamma minus 1 divided by 2 gamma, this is equal to 1. Now we will simplify this equation. Gamma plus 1 divided by 2 into a star square divided by gamma v1 v2. Just keep this term this side and we will bring this term to that side. 1 minus gamma minus 1 divided by 2 gamma. Now we can take LCM here. So 2 gamma minus gamma plus 1 divided by 2 gamma. So this yields gamma plus 1 divided by 2 gamma. So if you look at both the sides, so these two terms are common, then gamma plus 1 is also common. So a star square divided by v1 v2 is equal to 1. So a star squared is equal to v1 into v2. So this is called as Prandtl relation. So here he related region 1 and region 2 using a star square. We can further replace this equation. We can further rewrite this equation. So if we bring this a star square to that side, it will become 1 is equal to v1 divided by a star into v2 divided by a star. So from the definition of characteristic Mach number, this is m1 star and this is m2 star. Here we already represented this m1 star as a function of m1 and m2 star as a function of m2. So after the simplification we can say that m2 and m1 are related using Prandtl relation. From the characteristic Mach number relation, 1 is equal to, where m1 is gamma plus 1 into m1 square divided by 2 plus gamma minus 1 m1 square, m2 is gamma plus 1 m2 square divided by 2 plus gamma minus 1 m2 square. Now we can represent m2 as a function of m1. So after the simplification, we will get m2 as 1 plus gamma minus 1 divided by 2 into m1 square divided by gamma m1 square minus gamma minus 1 divided by 2. So here the m1 value will be a supersonic value. For all supersonic value, we will get m2 as subsonic value. So it states that downstream flow of a normal shock wave will be always a subsonic flow. So now we are going to relate all the properties as a fraction and also as a function of m1. So from continuity equation, we know rho 1 v1 is equal to rho 2 v2. So rho 2 divided by rho 1 will be equal to v1 divided by v2. So if I multiply v1 on both numerator and denominator, I will get v1 square divided by v1 v2. From Prandtl relation, this v1 v2 is actually equal to a star square. So this will be v1 square. So v1 divided by a star is stochastic Mach number of region 1. So this is equal to m1 star square. We already know m1 as a function of m1 star as a function of m1. So rho 2 divided by rho 1, this density ratio is equal to reciprocal of this velocity ratio. This is equal to gamma plus 1 m1 square divided by 2 plus gamma minus 1 m1 square. So now here we represent density ratio and velocity ratio as a function of upstream Mach number. Similarly, if we have to relate pressure values, pressure ratios, temperature ratios. To relate pressure ratio, I am going to use momentum equation. We know that P1 plus rho 1 V1 squared is equal to P2 plus rho 2 V2 square. So P2 minus P1 is equal to rho 1 V1 square minus rho 2 V2 square. So here we can replace rho 2 V2 as rho 1 V1 from continuity equation. So rho 1 V1 square minus rho 1 V1 V2 is equal to, so from this right hand side terms I can take rho 1 V1 square outside to get the fractions. So 1 minus V2 by V1 is equal to P2 minus P1. To get the fractions, I am going to divide this term by P1 on both the sides. Now I can say P2 by P1 minus 1 is equal to, so from speed of sound relation, I can replace P1 by rho as gamma V1 square divided by A1 square into 1 minus V2 by V1. So this is equal to, so V1 by A1 square is actually Mach number of region 1, this is m1 square, 1 minus, we already related this velocity ratio as a function of upstream Mach number. So if we substitute here, we will get this 2 plus gamma minus 1 m1 square divided by gamma plus 1 m1 square. So P2 by P1 ratio is equal to 1 plus 2 gamma by gamma plus 1 into m1 square minus 1. To obtain the temperature ratio, we are going to use state equation. From state equation, you know that P1 is equal to rho 1 or T1 and P2 is equal to rho 2 or T2. So if we divide this equation, T2 by T1 will be equal to P2 by P1 into rho 1 by rho 2. We already represented P2 by P1 as a function of upstream Mach number. Similarly, rho 1 by rho 2 as a function of upstream Mach number. So this will be equal to 1 plus 2 gamma by gamma plus 1 to m1 square minus 1 into rho 2 by rho 1 is 2 plus gamma minus 1 m1 square divided by gamma plus 1 m1 square. So here T2 by T1 is also a function of upstream Mach number. So this temperature ratio is also equal to static enthalpy ratio for a calorically perfect gas. So we know the process across normal circle is an adiabatic process. So in an adiabatic process, stagnation enthalpy will be constant and stagnation temperature also will be constant. From second law of thermodynamics, we have the relation for entropy change, that is S2 minus S1 is equal to Cp ln T2 by T1 minus R ln P2 by P1. If you apply this equation to a stagnation point between region 1 and region 2, so there T0 will be constant, so this term won't come. So minus R ln P02 divided by P01. So now we can represent this P02 divided by P01 as a function of entropy change, that is e power minus S2 minus S1 divided by R, or else we can calculate this P02 divided by P01 from ratios. So this is equal to P02 divided by P2 into P1 divided by P01 into P2 by P1. This will be as a function of M2. Here M2 will be as a function of M1, and P1 by P01 is function of M1, and P2 by P1 also we represented as a function of M1. So all are as a function of M1. So P02 divided by P01 will be a function of M1. Today, using Prandtl relation, we have related region 1 and region 2 using critical speed of sound parameter and Caustic Mach number parameter. So now we have represented ratios as a function of upstream Mach numbers. In the next class, we will see some problems from these relations. Thank you.